Here is a Kenmore dehumidifier, which is probably a Whirlpool product. We'll confirm momentarily. This is a Kenmore 2-speed dual cycle. So it has 2 fan speeds, and the fan can either run continuously or it can run only with the compressor. I haven't seen many that have the fan able to run continuously. I'm not really sure why you would want that. I suppose it does keep the humidity a little bit more accurate, but how accurate these really were to begin with, I don't know. There's the humidistat. It's a really nice looking machine. This plate is like polished brass, I guess. It's got a yellow kind of tone to it. I guess it's brass. And classic wood grain front. Really nice looking machine. This was probably a very expensive model back in the day, because although these are all more or less the same with a couple different words on the top, adding those the extra fan speed plus the cycle or continuous probably jacked the price up quite a bit, which is more of a marketing gimmick than an actual functional standpoint, but it is what it is. So this one, it is very long, and when I first found one like this, I kind of thought it was similar to that cold spot one from earlier in the year. But now that I've found a few and have taken a look at them, I don't believe that it's the same thing at all. In fact, I think it has nothing at all to do with it. It's not the same form factor, it's not the same branding, etc. This is more or less like a regular one. For example, that one. The only difference being that this one, the bucket is concealed within it. It does not stick out the back. So the bucket sits in there. It's the same setup, and actually I think this is worse, because when this is full, you have to kind of pick it up a little bit, and you can't grab the front, so you have to, and you can't grab the sides really. So I think this is kind of a poor design actually in terms of being able to empty the bucket. It's like the previous user had quite the apparatus here for continuous drain. So I picked this up unintentionally. I had gone to pick up a much older Westinghouse heavy duty model. This bucket is good, by the way. And it was another one of those cases like I had talked about a couple of videos ago, where people will give these away for free just to get rid of them because they're hard to dispose of. Here, now we can see the back of it. And so I went to pick it up, and he had this one sitting right next to it. I says, "Oh, you getting rid of this one too?" He says, "Yep, you can have it if you want it." So I says, "Absolutely." And he said it doesn't work, but he insisted on testing it, which is kind of weird to me, but that's what he did. And so he turns it on. He says to me it doesn't get cold. He turns it on, a compressor comes on, I can hear the gas moving through it. He says, "Oh, it got cold." But the fan didn't run. I said, "Okay, it's, it's a simple fix, not a big deal." For free, it wouldn't have been a big deal no matter what. So I take it home, I get out of the car and I test it in the garage, and it's just completely dead. No fan, no compressor, nothing. Now it looks like this thing has had a pretty rough life. This is all, the cage is all severely bent up, and I don't know what other kind of damage this has, but there's definitely some physical damage here. So I'm going to guess that there's just got to be a loose connection somewhere inside of here. The fan motor is probably locked up, which is a very common issue with these. Not because the fan motors are cheap, but because nobody ever oiled them. Casters are all frozen up, they're not working properly. See over here, it definitely took a big fall. That's all dented up on the side there, where that screw goes. So that's kind of unfortunate. Otherwise a really nice case, all wood grain. Might be able to make the scratches a little less visible. The top is overall pretty good. The front is pretty good as well, which is surprising, all other things considered. And this other side is just about flawless. other than a couple small scratches. So, and not bad. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on. I'll plug it in and you can see what happens. I'm not sure what to expect. Maybe it'll be working again. Who knows? This needs some contact cleaner, but I can hear it click on. Right at the end there, it's out of calibration, or it's just broken. Nothing. Alright, so it's still DOA. So let's open this up and see what we can do. I'm sure we can get this thing running again. And it seems like it's going to be something simple. So we'll start by removing the front cover and seeing if there's anything obvious going on inside here that's not correct. Wow. Well, that certainly is not correct. Holy mackerel. Wow. What on earth happened to this thing? Good grief. That was kind of convenient. Look at this compressor. That's all busted up and screwed up on the mount. Dang, what the heck? This must have really fallen at some point. And that's not even like a couple degrees off. That's way off. Look at that. Jeez. Oh man, that's gonna take some effort to fix that. That's just totally mangled. Wow. Well, I was not expecting that. Well, I know it's not broken because it was running with a good charge before we left, so the sealed system, I'm pretty sure, is fine. We just got to figure out why we're not getting any power anymore. There's a capacitor here, which is kind of interesting. Maybe this is a PSC model. We're going to have to take the whole cover off, I think. Jeez, I can't believe that. This must have really fallen pretty far or something. That's crazy. Now, an air conditioner I can understand maybe it falls, but this, what the heck does one of these fall? These screws are tough to take out because the frame is so bent up, they're under a lot of pressure. This side is really bad. Well, this one is pretty much identical to the one that I just serviced for the letter H, except it looks to have a capacitor run compressor, so this should be much more efficient. And this one is little tabs on the inside there. This one is gas 22, and this one is a 40. Looks like it says 48 pints. 7.5 amps. So I don't know how that could be if it's capacitor. Anyways, well, let's see what's going on here. I don't see anything obvious. I don't see any wires just blatantly disconnected. Let's have a look inside this terminal box. And we're going to proceed with a little bit of caution here, just in case something is volatile. No, everything looks decent in there. Everything looks fine. The connections are all good. Nothing's burnt off of anywhere. Alright, that all checks out in there. What's odd is that there's not even any signs of operation. That fan motor's locked up, like 100% locked up. That I'm not sure that'll ever run again. If it's impedance protected, it might, but it's thermal protected, so probably not. Everything's connected on the capacitor. Everything's connected on the switch. I really don't understand why this is not running anymore. Well, we're going to have to get out the meter and do some checks. Actually, before we bother with the meter, maybe the first thing to do is to just bypass this thermostat, or the humidistat rather. Oh, it's an auto defrost model too. Yeah, this would have been very expensive. This was a top of the line model. I'm surprised it doesn't advertise that it's automatic defrost. So what we'll do is we'll just come in here and we'll take off the, whoa, actually that'll work. So this yellow wire that goes to the thermostat, we're just going to take that off, and we're going to replace that with this black wire, and this just takes the humidistat out of the picture. It's on there pretty good. Come on. And so we'll just take this wire down here and plug this into the onto the switch. Alright, so now the thermostat's out of the picture, or the humidistat rather, is out of the picture. Let's see. Wow, this whole thing that's just severed right off on the back. Oh my gosh. Let's see if it'll run. Nope. Still nothing. What the heck is going on here? See where the electricity's at. So we got electricity coming in. We got electricity past the shut off. The electricity before, but not after the thermostat for the auto defrost. So quite possibly that's our problem. Alright, so let's try to bypass the defrost sensor, which is more or less just a thermostat with a lower temperature value. So what we'll need to do for that is, that's our shut off. There's actually two buttons back there. I don't know what's up with that. Why would there be two buttons? Two bucket buttons. That one goes to the switch and it sends the power back to the switch, and that one sends the power into the, I don't know what's up with that. That's kind of weird. I'll have to look at the schematic. But anyway, so we're going to take we need to take we gotta take this wire. I don't think I can do that without wrecking terminals now. We gotta, maybe I'll try to recalibrate it, because obviously we gotta fix that anyways. Is it something that could be calibrated? Let me figure this out here. Okay, so that's a little more simple than I thought it was. All we have to do is take this terminal and connect it to the other side of the one of those bucket switches. Why there's two, I don't understand, but maybe the schematic will tell. So this goes to the switch, and if we just take this one off of here, I think that should bypass the defrost. Okay, so now I think we have eliminated the faulty component. Let's see if it'll run. What the heck? Nope, it's still not running. And it's not pulling any power either. That's the weird part. Nothing. Which would be fine if I had never seen it operate. Oh, wait a minute. 1.14, 0.65, so the fan motor is actually still good. But we're not getting any compressor. And that's got to be a connection issue somewhere. So the power comes in, and then it should go to these blue and yellow wires, and then if we press this, I would have expected that to stop. Something is really messed up here. If the bucket is in place, does it press one of these switches? It does. It presses that top one. So maybe the bucket needs to be in place for it to run. Is that what it is? That's what it is. Oh, that compressor sounds great. Alright, now we have to undo what we did in regards to the thermostat. I want to undo that before I forget the way that it goes. And you know what? Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you troubleshoot something and you make changes and they're wrong. And that's fine. You just have to go back and change it back to the way that it was. So previously, this would come off of here. So this actually is very well designed, because now when you remove the bucket to empty it, it's not going to start up and run again while the bucket's not in place. That's why nothing was getting power. So let's put all this back. And now it kind of makes sense, because when the guy tested it for me, I believe that he had the bucket in place. So it all makes good sense now. Alright, so now everything is back to the way that it was. Let's see. I'm going to close this up because we don't need this open anymore. The heck? This is circular. And everything in here is a square. Okay, it's kind of weird. Alright. So now let's see how this operates. See if this humidistat is working. I highly doubt that we're going to be able to get this fan to free up with just a couple drops of oil. It seems like it's very, very stiff. But I'll give it a shot, because according to the power draw, it is ready to work. Throw a couple drops of oil in here and see if it'll free up. We'll have to go through and service this motor more carefully afterwards. Before I actually put this into service, but let's just see if we can get a good test on it here. It looks like it's a stamped together motor, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to split this or not. This might be a motor replacement, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it definitely seems like it's stamped together. It's not freeing up at all. Try to drop some oil down the front of the shaft. This definitely has quite a few hours on it. Oh, that's kind of stupid. They put the capillary tubes right in front of where the screws are. Well, I guess if you're inclined enough to take it apart, you should be able to just move them aside gently and continue working. This even has the same stupid blade as the that one from a couple days ago with those weird things on there. But see, there's no screw-on apparatus here, so maybe this is different. Oh, it's starting to free up a little bit. Gosh, those bearings sound terrible though. Let's see if we'll be able to even get this off the shaft. That's pretty well stuck on there. So we might need a zoom spout for this one. Well, we might be able to take this motor apart. We'll see. It almost feels like there's an alignment issue here. That's not free enough for it to run yet, I don't think. I wonder if these are too tight on the back and it's throwing it out of alignment. Seriously. Well, those are just round studs. Yeah, this motor's not coming apart. Not good. It's a non-serviceable motor. So we're relying 100% on these oil ports to provide lubrication to the motor. Front port is not working. It might run again. It's very, very stiff still though. I'll have to let it sit for a while. I don't think this will free up in the next 5 minutes or so. This might take a couple hours for the oil to seep in and get to where it needs to go. Well, let's put it back on the mount, because that's not the problem. I would not be surprised if we can buy a motor like this. In fact, I want to try to buy 2-speed motors to replace some of these, to modify some of the other units I have, because the fans on these things are just way too loud. Where are the pliers? They're not with us at this time. That's cool. I thought it just went right on the surface here, but no, I don't see it. And that's why you spend the extra 15 seconds to go in the other room and get the correct tool. Well, I think we're going to say that it's gone. Into the... I don't know where it went into. Oh no, there it is. I see it. I got it. Am I going to go get the right tool? No, I'm going to use the wrong one again. I don't know about this motor. This might be a lost cause. Doesn't sound good. That's alright. If we gotta get a new motor, then we get a new motor. I don't think that's going to run. It's trying to, but it's just too stiff. Well, we're just going to test it anyways. If the motor burns out, it burns out. It's not useful anyways as it is. I don't like the compressor running like that. It's too, it's so tilted. The oil is not sitting where it should be. Oh, did I move the bucket? Now why is running? This thing is kind of finicky. Yeah, it's that bucket switch again. I want to tilt this up a little bit. I don't like it being so unlevel, because the oil is not going to get pumped up if it's not, remotely level. And it's not. It's nowhere near level. There, now the compressor's a little bit better. Oh yeah, it's getting cold. We got a lot of heat and we got a lot of cold. And with the new motor, this is ready to work. But the motor as it is just shot and not going to run. Now the motor is pulling power. It's pulling 0.52 amps and 1.06 amps. So it's the windings are still good, but the bearings, it was let go for too long. I'll let it sit overnight and see if it starts to free up. But at some point, you know, the motors get to a situation where they've been locked up and sitting for so long that you know, or the bearings are run dry for too long, they just wear out. And I think that's where this one's at. Although it looks like it's moving ever so slightly now. The heat should actually, you know what? Now that the heat's getting in there, it might start working. Let's see. I'll let it literally cook for another minute. See how hot the motor's getting. It's only 115. It might go. It's moving ever so slightly. Yep, there it goes. It's moving like 0.0001 RPM right now. Well, it might work. That would be cool and we could test it. Normally I would never do this to a motor, but since this is not serviceable, this motor is just spoiled anyways. We'll see if we can get it to work. Yeah, it's picking up speed. Very slowly. But it is trying. Motor's 145 now. If the thermal fuse is working properly, which it seems like it is because it's not burnt out, and we don't have too much more time left. It's almost ready to go. Is this a Class A or a Class B? Doesn't say. It's a 1550 RPM and 1350 RPM. So not a big difference in the speeds. It's almost ready to go. 155. Come on. It's so close to taking off. What I can do, I can put this other fan on here. And I can move some air over that motor to keep it from overheating as it warms up. This piece of junk fan is going to do a whole lot, but it might do something for us. Of course, the motor is going to be running much hotter than it would under normal conditions because it's almost at LRA, which on this motor is 1 amp. It was to 1.6 before, now it's down to 1 because it's moving slightly. It's getting closer. It's up to 171 now. It's gonna go out on thermal any soon, I'm sure. I'm making a mess here with the oil, but ooh, it's almost going. 0.99 amps. It's slowly coming up to speed. Ooh. Come on. It's almost there. So close. .98 amps. It's starting to free up. Keep adding some oil here. it goes. Yeah, the bearings are in bad shape. Oil ports aren't really taking in any more oil. Mm. Seems like it just got worse. Hmm. Right on the threshold of what's going to work and what's not going to work. Not work well, but will, run. Yeah, it's getting a little too hot now. It's almost 200 degrees. We're going to have to cut it off. But the oil will seep and we'll revisit it in like half an hour or so. I like to switch the compressor on, but I don't want to let this fan spin down. Maybe I'll just let the fan run for a little while. This fan is totally out of balance like the other one was. But it is running. There we go. It'll run again. Then we'll put the compressor on. No! This is flinging oil everywhere. That's 5.57 amps. Which is much more reasonable than some of the other machines that are not PSC. Coil is cold all the way through already. Let's see what our data sheet says here. So at 80 over 6, yeah, it's a 48 pint. That's kind of an odd number. The wattage running is 870 watts. I don't believe that. If it's 75 in here, it's only drawing 6. I don't think 10 degrees is going to push it up that much. I guess I should have studied this before we started the repair. That would have saved some time. There we go, 1986. Probably purchased in summer of 87. Condenser's getting hot, the evaporator is ice cold all the way through. This is in good shape, other than the fan motor. It's throwing out some good heat. Power factor is 0.98. That's the way that it should be. Both the fan and the compressor are capacitor. Oh no, we're losing the fan. Well, that might have just concluded our test. Oh well. Yeah, that fan is shot. That can never be run unattended again. So we'll have to get a new fan motor. Gotta grab a quick picture of the part number here so I can look it up later. I imagine that this is easily replaced. Of course, it would be a cheap Chinese junk replacement motor, I'm sure, but at least it'll make it run again. Or maybe Fasco has something, I don't know. Well, that's a very interesting piece. Definitely needs some help. The compressor mounts are just, I don't know what happened there. The back one is just gone entirely. And nothing to speak of there. That's ridiculous. So that's that. I don't even know how that happens. I guess it must have fell. Who knows? Well, I'm not going to get this one for a little while. Got to order parts and so forth. So let's patch this back up and then move on to something else. This will be a cool machine though. I like this one. These casters are not working at all. Oh, I see what's messed up here. There's little tabs. There's little tabs in here that are bent up. That's why that's going back like that. That needs back down and it should fix that. They're not fitting in there perfectly, but that's better in concept. And you know what, let's take this apparatus off of here too. This is just causing annoyances. Should be able to just put like a garden hose cap on there and use it in collection mode. Alright, well, we got our work cut out for us on this one. I've got to order some parts and then we'll show it on video again. And there we go. It's spelled right out for me. Oh, sometimes it is important to read the manual.